What is a decent CGPA to be included? Okay. Anything above 75 percentage or 3 on 4 or 7 on 10 is decent. Difference between resume and CV. CV is just I think it comes from a different language. It's called curriculum vitae. I don't know if it's French or German. It's just a different pronunciation for resume. Okay, ma'am, Shubha Sharma is asking, I'm a mechanical student, and if I mention some competition like Smart India, do I need to be a team lead or member would work? It is completely okay if you have participated in any of these competitions. Doesn't matter if you were a team lead or a member, anything would work. So if you were a member in those, mention that you were a member. If you were a team leader, mention you were a team leader, and in one line, just explain what you did in that particular hackathon or competition. Can resume required for internship? Yes, resumes are required for internship. In fact, people who apply for jobs in countries other than India, for them internship is a very big deal. Like for myself also, if we when we complete masters, we also have opportunities for internship if we do not already have job. So the same kind of resume is required for internship as well. Nothing is changed. You just instead of like when you are applying and talking to the recruiter, you just say that this is my resume. So nothing changes. Do interviews in FANG for professionals include design rounds? Yes, interviews in FANG include system design rounds, but it is not just FANG. System design rounds are actually required for engineers who are slightly experienced. So if you have more than 3 years of experience, there will be a design round for you. Ideally, the format is something like this. If you have 3 to 5 years of experience, there will be a low level design round. If you have more than 5 years of experience, you will have a high level design round. And if you have less than 3 years of experience and still the recruiter says there will be a design round, you can mention that I have only 3 years of experience and I won't be very comfortable with the design round. So it can be skipped also. So FANG definitely have design rounds and other companies also have design rounds, but it depends on your experience. If you are experienced enough, you will have a design round. I hope I answer your question, Udit. Muhammad said, ma'am, any tips for MS in US based on CGPA, GRE, TOEFL scores, and what else? Okay, MS in US can be done through GRE if you want to do on campus. In my case, I pursued my MS parallel to the job and which needed GRE and TOEFL scores. CGPAs are actually a big deal. If you have a bad CGPA, the admission will be slightly difficult. You might have to go to a university which is not that great, but you can go with a good GATE score. Should we mention GATE score on it? Juhi, do you mean if when you're applying for masters at that time you have to mention GATE score? Yes. But if you're applying for a job at that time, your GATE score may or may not have an importance. If you have enough space on your resume, you can mention it. It wouldn't harm. How impactful Neha Gaur is asking, how impactful are certifications while applying for jobs? Okay. So certifications are important, are applicable if you have done something after certification. So for example, you took a certification for a data structures and algorithms course, or if you have taken a certification, let's say for a data science course, if you have taken that knowledge and applied somewhere, if you have build a project during that certification or after that certification, that is much more useful rather than just mentioning a certification, because then people just think that everybody can get a certification. So it is better to tell what you have actually done after the certification. Ma'am, do we need to mention the project from newest to oldest or according to the relevance? Shubha Sharma. Okay, Shubha. So this is a little tricky. Ideally, you should mention in the newest to oldest. But again, if you want to talk about a project more than the other one, then you can mention it in the order of relevance also. It is doable. You can just mention the timeline when you have done. So, for example, if you have done 2 projects in 2 years and the one that you have done earlier is more relevant, you can mention it at the top. Just mention the timeline of it along with the project. Um, Deepak Verma. Ma'am, if my training or internship isn't related to the job I'm applying for, should I still mention it? No, you probably shouldn't mention it because again, it is of no use to the recruiter or the interviewer. So you shouldn't. Rohit Singh, I'm a .NET developer having an experience of around 3 years. What should I do? Learn to get my resume selected for a good product-based company? Um, is DS and Algo and my current stack are enough, or do I need to learn Java or Node, etc.? Thank you. Rohit, it so usually companies need people who are good at DS and Algo and computer science in general. If you have not worked on Java or Node, you can mention in your resume that you have not worked on it, and you can just mention .NET. But if you are applying for a job that mentions that you should have an experience of Java or Node for 3 years, then maybe either you should not apply for that job, or you can just say that I have .NET experience. Because even if so what happens in companies is either they're looking for a developer who can learn a new language and start contributing to their platform, or they're looking for someone who has already worked on it. So if they are flexible in their requirement and you have .NET experience, they will still consider you, thinking that you will be able to learn Java. But if they're very strict that no, we need someone who has particular Java experience because our system has a lot of problems and we need an expert, then in that case, even if you mention, it won't help you. So again, just look what that company needs and mention what experience you have. If you want to change to a different stack, like if you want to work on Java and you want to change jobs for that, then probably the best idea is that learn Java for 3 to 6 months, get some certification, build some projects, and then apply and then mention that you know Java and you have done so and so projects. Anil Kumar Kushwa, what will we answer when the interview asks about your weak points? Okay, this is a tricky question. I would say it will be good to be honest, but not too honest. Okay, so for example, if your weakness is that you cannot wake up early, and you will have a hard time in reaching office at 10 a.m. every day, so you can say you cannot say to the interviewer that I cannot come to office 10 a.m. every day. I will come at 12 o'clock. What you can say is that sometimes I am not able to manage my time properly, and I end up doing the work late at nights. So I get up late in the morning. So I have to. So don't say that my time skill managements are bad. Don't say that. Say I still have to work on my time management skills, because sometimes I end up procrastinating and doing the work late at night, and then I'm not able to get up in the morning. Put it in a way that you know your weakness and you want to improve it. Don't just say that I will not come to office at 10 a.m. I hope you get my point. Udit Sahni, is referral a short way to land up an interview? Yes and no. So if, for example, Shivangi ma'am here, if she forwards her resume to me, I will definitely make sure to forward it, because we are very close friends and I will take time to forward it. But if someone else requests me to share their resume, it depends what kind of relation I have with them, and if my company has openings or not, or if that person is actually very good and I do want to refer them, then I will refer. So it depends what kind of relationship you have with the referral. But certainly, if you are giving your resume, when the company is running a referral program, when the companies say that we are having a referral program and please refer your friends, in that case, there will be a good chance. But if you forward your resume to someone to whom you have just sent a request on LinkedIn and you don't know them personally, and then you just request them that please refer me, they might or might not refer. So it depends. There is no one answer to this. Arijit Arora, can we do masters in CS if we have bachelors in other subjects like electronics? Yes, you can. Of course, you can. Some universities would require you to do certain CS courses before you apply. So what you can do is you can do some nano degrees like Udacity provides, or you can do some courses like NPTEL provides, and then apply for masters. I can give you an example from my personal life. My husband belongs from civil engineering, and he wanted to switch over to computer science. So he did some NPTEL courses and some Udacity courses, and then he applied for masters, and he got admitted in the university. Gaurav Porkharkar, how to approach for opportunities in FANG for experienced professionals. Never found opportunities on portals like Naukri for the same. How was your Google interview experience? Okay, for FANG companies, there are two ways. One is you or your friends are in touch with any of the recruiters of these companies. The very first time I got the interview call from Uber is that I applied through a very close friend. And for Google, it just happened that came through my LinkedIn profile. I think part of the reason was that how my profile looks, and I have Georgia Tech on my LinkedIn. Maybe that is the reason. And also because of the skill set that I have, it is required. So that's why, and the resume that I have put up. Maybe that's why. So you will not find opportunities for FANG on Naukri.com. You have to get in touch with their recruiters or maybe with your friends who are in touch with those recruiters, I would say. So just request your friend to introduce you to that recruiter, and that way at least you can send your profile directly to a recruiter. And these days, actually, in India, Google and Amazon and Facebook are extensively hiring. So definitely you can get in touch of any of the Google recruiter. If you want, I can introduce you. How was your Google interview experience? Okay, that is, I think, another webinar, because it will take more than 2 minutes to answer. But it was a great experience. I think if anybody ever gets to go on an on-site Google interview, they should go. It's a lifetime of experience. We usually do attend a quick 2-day workshops on data science or ML skills and make 1-2 minor projects. Should we mention it? You can mention that you have attended a data science or ML workshop and you have developed some projects, but you should not mention them as your core skills. So I mentioned the individuality section. You can mention in that section. Getting a LOR from whom would be helpful? Sakshi, getting LOR for masters. If you are still a college student, getting LOR from your HOD and professors, and if you are a working professional, getting LOR from your manager, direct manager, and manager of manager, and your bosses would be helpful. Mohammad Hussain, okay, ma'am. So in courses like MEM, Masters in Engineering Management, MS in Business Analytics, or any other courses which involves business management are good to apply due to low grades in undergrad. As for such courses, I have heard that competition in less in IVs like Cornell. Okay, so for engineering management, you have to be an engineer first. So usually engineering manager position comes when you had been an engineer for 2 or 3 years. But yes, for these courses, your undergraduate grades might not matter much. For these courses, what would matter is your soft skills, your people skills, your communication skills, all those things. For business analytics, again, you might have to have some background in analytics, but indirectly in business or management, all you need is good communication skills and good soft skills. I had a query. Let's say our workplace has some restrictions on development opportunities. We don't get to learn a lot. So mentioning freelancing personal project would help us getting attention for SD role. Okay. Aniket, from your question, I feel that maybe you have just joined, or maybe it has been a year that you have joined, and that's why you are working on some internal frameworks and tools. You can do two things. One is you can pick up a domain. You can pick up a path. Do you want to be a front-end engineer, an app engineer like Android or iOS, back-end engineer, or a full-stack engineer, or a data science engineer? After picking up your domain, pick up some technology in that. For example, let's say you want to be a front-end engineer. Pick up a tech stack like Angular or React. Learn that framework, do some certification, do some personal projects, and then find a job when there someone is looking for a React developer, and mention your projects in that, apply for a job, and then quit this job if you're not getting end-to-end development. This happens. Give some time, maybe stay 1 more year in this company, build your profile, work on side projects, and then make a move to another company. Udit Sahani, can you please share some tips for behavioral round? Yes, I can. I don't want to talk about my YouTube channel here, but I have a collaboration with Anshuman from InterviewBit on behavioral rounds that will come out soon. So I am going to share some tips there for behavioral rounds. For now, if you want to summarize me in 1 or 2 steps, I can just say, be genuine, be yourself, don't lie, don't exaggerate, and just like answer as you're talking to someone or talking to a senior, with the intention of behavioral round is that people want to check, do they want to work with you or not, because they have to spend 8 or 10 hours in a day with you. So they just want to check how you are as a person, and if they like you or not. They feel that you are someone like who is going to offend people, be disrespectful to people, going to fight with people, have a lot of conflicts. So they want to check all kind of things, and they also want to check your intention, that why you are joining a company. If you're joining a company just for getting brand name and your plan is to like get out of the company within 6 months, so they just try to gauge that how serious you are about joining a company and how you are as a person. But we will discuss this in detail with Anshuman, so stay tuned. Purnima, how significant is the role of professional profiles like LinkedIn, GitHub, etc. for landing jobs? LinkedIn profile might not have that much weight,
because like LinkedIn profile, your experience and professionals does have a weight. If you have properly defined on LinkedIn your experience, your colleges and everything, you can check my LinkedIn profile. If you have included proper keywords and proper skills, it does make a lot of difference. And if people have endorsed you for your skill, so what happens is that profile starts showing up in good to recruiters in search. So it matters. GitHub, on the other hand, is not mandatory. If you have GitHub experience, if you have contributed to projects, is good. But if you don't have it, it won't like the recruiter won't think that why you don't have a GitHub profile. But it's good to have. Udit, is it better to join a service-based MNC or a product-based startup? Very good question. Depends what you want from life. If you are okay with a little less salary, little less growth, but job security. So, for example, companies like TCS and Infosys, Accenture, you have less salary when you start, but you have job security. You don't get to learn that much, but you are in a safe environment, and the workload is not that high. And if you stick in those companies for say like 10 years, 15 years, you have a good career growth, and you can get offshore opportunities while being in those companies. But on the other hand, if you are someone like who is very competitive, ambitious, you want to earn a lot of money, you want to grow in terms of technical expertise a lot, then you should join a product-based startup. That example applies to me also. I was in TCS, but I didn't want it to continue in a service-based company because I was not happy with the salary and I was not happy with the work that I was doing. So I switched over to product-based startups for that same reason. And even in product-based startups, I have a choice that I always like to work with B2B startups. So I like to work with the software that is developed for other developers. So it depends what you want. Thank you, everyone. I will be signing off now. Bye-bye.